Good morning, boys and girls. It's so great to see you. I'm ready to get going on our musical journey of discovery today. Let's get to it.
It is always wonderful to warm up before we do a music class or any sort of musical activity. It's important to warm up our bodies and our voices. Also, you've probably been sitting in front of your computer for a little while today, so it's time to get up and stretch with me. We're going to start by stretching to one side, so we're stretching out these muscles in between our ribs. And the other side. Same thing. We've got lots of muscles between our ribs, and that's what helps us to breathe really well. Stretch one more time to this side. And the other side. Great. And we're going to stretch both arms up because we have lots of muscles in the front that are super important too, right? And guess what? The muscles of your back are really important for breathing as well. So please bend forward and we'll stretch out your back. Touch your toes if you can. Great. And give yourself a big hug. That also helps stretch across those muscles across the top. Wonderful. Great. All right. We're going to work on trying to develop our breathing skills. So you're going to imagine your favorite baked good is sitting right in front of you. And when you breathe in through your nose, you are breathing from here and filling up into your belly. We don't want to go with our shoulders, but breathe in and let it fill up into your belly down here, okay? So, whatever your favorite baked good is, that's what you're going to imagine you're smelling as you breathe in. Mine, chocolate chip cookies. Ready? So here we go. Breathe in the smell of those delicious baked goods. And then exhale through your mouth. Good. Can you do this with your hands too? Let's breathe in. If you need to change your baked good, that's okay too, because I also really love brownies. Ready? And breathe in. And exhale. Good. Can you feel the air coming down into here? Your lungs are expanding down this way instead of just up like this. Great. Let's try one more time. Change your baked good if you would like, or keep the same. It's up to you. Ooh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to smell Brookies. It's a combination of chocolate chip cookies and brownies. Best of both worlds. Ready? Here we go. Breathe in. And exhale. Good. Hopefully that's not just helped you warm up your breathing area, but relaxed you a little bit as well. Wonderful. Will you be my echo to help warm up your voice now? Ooh. Wonderful, very good. It's like a roller coaster for your voice, isn't it?
One of my son's favorite things to do is to go out and look for snails. How many of you like snails? I do. So, one of the things that they have are little antennae. You have those up there. So, anytime we hear the word snail, I want you to put your fingers up there. Can you help me with that this time? Here we go. Snail, 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 go around, around, around. Oh, how many of you got those snails that time? Let's see if you can do it again. Ready and go. Snail, 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 snail. Did you get them? Oh, well, let's see if we can do it when I do the whole thing. Ready and go. Snail, 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 snail. Go around, around, around. drawing the snail shell on her hand. Can you help me with that? We have snail and go round and round. Here we go. Ready and go, snail, 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 go around, around, around. How did you do? Let's try again. Here we go. Ready and go, snail, 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 go around, around, around. Did you get it? Let's see. Could we pat our shoulders? Can you copy me? Ready and go, snail, 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 go around, around, around. What about our head? Ready and go, snail, 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 go around, around, around. Can you help me sing this time, you think? Let's pat our head one more time. Ready and go, snail, 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 go around, around, around. This time, can we pat our elbow? Ready and go, snail, 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 go around, around, around. Can you do your other elbow? Ready and go, snail, 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 go around, around, around. Could you jump? Let's see. Ready and go, snail, 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 go around, around, around. Could we be a bird and flap our wings? Ready and go, snail, 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 go around, around, around. Could we march in place, you think? Let's see. Ready and go, snail, 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 go around, around, around. Let's go one more time and do our motions. Here we go. Ready and go, snail, 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 go around, around, around. Very nice job, boys and girls. So Me Goes Missing by Stuart Manis, illustrated by Jenny Webb. In this story, there's going to be a few sounds that we're going to make together. So I want you to be my echo on those, and let's see how far we can get. Nobody knew where Somi was. Somi, where are you? Called Mum. She went into the lounge. She could hear the grandfather clock. Tick-tock, tick-tock. But she couldn't hear Somi. Can we do that tick-tock with our tongue? I wonder. Let's see. When we get to that, I want you to do that part. Here we go. She went into the lounge. She could hear the grandfather clock. But she couldn't hear Somi. She listened for an answer, but all she could hear was the leaking tap in the bathroom. It went drip, 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 drip. Can you do that drip? Drip, 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 drip. Let's do that. One more time when we get there. You do that part. She listened for an answer, but all she could hear was the leaking tap in the bathroom. It went drip, 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 drip. Sometimes Somi used to hide in his wardrobe, so Mum quietly tiptoed to the wardrobe doors and flung them open. But Somi wasn't there. By this time, Somi's father had joined in the search. He put his head out the window and called, "Somi!" But all he could hear was a bee which buzzed close by his head. Let me hear that bee sound. I'll see if he's in the hut, said his brother. Somi and his brother had their very own hut in the branches of a tree at the back of the garden. Somi, Mum wants you, his brother called out from underneath the hut. There was no sound except for the wind whispering in the leaves. Swish, 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 swish. Somi's brother climbed up to make sure that nobody was there. Nobody was inside, but he could hear a fly, which was caught in a spider's web. It went buzz, buzz, buzz. Maybe he's playing with his friends over in the park, said his sister. She called, Somi, come home. When she listened for a reply, all she could hear was the echo of her voice, which came back softly. Somi, come home. 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 Just then a police car drove past the house. Its light was flashing and its siren went, "Ooh." It seemed to be calling, Somi, 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 Somi. Mom and Dad were beginning to get worried now. What will we do? Said Dad. Ring the police, said Mom. All the family stood by the phone and heard it ring at the other end of the line. Bring, bring, bring. Then Somi's father saw a big toe poking around the side of the sofa. The toe was moving up and down. Dad quickly put down the phone before anyone had time to answer it. Behind the toe was a leg. Behind the leg was a body. On top of the body was a head. On top of the head was a pair of headphones. Somi looked at them with surprise. His toe stopped tapping to the music. Then he took off his headphones. What's the matter? We have been looking for you everywhere, they said. But I'm not lost. Somi put his headphones on and went on listening to the music. The end.
I know you're learning about the days of the week, and maybe some of you already know the order of the days of the week, so you'll be able to help me out and sing along. I know there's a few different songs to help us remember the order of the days of the week, but I want to share this one with you today. So listen first, and then you can join in and sing along, and later we're going to get some instruments to add to it. Okay, it goes like this. One, ready, sing. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Good job. Let's try that again. One, ready, sing. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Very good. This is a great time if you would like to go choose an instrument. I'm going to show you how you can play along to the beat with us while we sing as well. All right, you have your instrument? Wonderful. Well, I'm going to be on one screen playing a rhythm instrument with you, and on one screen singing and playing the ukulele. So let's get it started. One, ready, go. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Very good. Let's try it again. One more time.
boys and girls, we're going to start by making the number 4. And we're going to shut our fingers around that thumb. Turn our hands. And then we're ready for our story. So once upon a time, there were 2 best friends. One's name was Mr. Wiggle. The other one's name was Mr. Waggle. One day, Mr. Wiggle decided he wanted to make a cake for his daughter's birthday. So he decided that he needed to look for his ingredients, and he noticed that he didn't have any flour at all. So he thought about how he could solve that problem for a second. And he said, oh, I could probably borrow some for my best friend, Mr. Waggle. So he decided to open his door, whoop, walk outside, and shut his door, whoop, and then he went up the hill, and up the hill, until he got to Mr. Waggle's house. And he knocked 3 times, but no one was there. So he tried one more time, but still there was no answer. So he went home. He went up the hill, and up the hill. He opened the door, whoop. He walked in, and he shut the door, whoop. And he took a nap. Later that day, Mr. Waggle decided he wanted to make some cookies for his son, but he didn't have any sugar when he looked. So he decided to go see his friend, Mr. Wiggle. So Mr. Waggle opens his door, whoop. He walks out, he shuts the door, whoop. And he goes up the hill, and up the hill, and he knocks on the door, but no one was there. So he tried one more time. Still no answer. So when he went home, he went up the hill, went up the hill, So they both woke up the next day, and they both opened their doors. Whoop! They both walked out, and they both shut the doors. Whoop! And they went up the hill. And what do you know? They met in the middle. So, and they started talking about all the great things that was going on. And Mr. Wiggle said, I'm trying to make some cake for my daughter's birthday, but I don't have any flour. Can you help me, Mr. Waggle? And he said, yeah, come on over. I got plenty of flour. So they went up the hill. And Mr. Waggle opened his door. Whoop! They walked in. And they shut the door. Whoop! They got the flour for Mr. Wiggle. And then Mr. Waggle said, well, I'm trying to make some cookies for my son, but I don't have any sugar. Can you help me? And Mr. Wiggle said, yeah, come on over. I got plenty of that for the cake. So they opened the door. Whoop! They both walked out. They shut the door. Whoop! And they went up the hill. And up the hill. Mr. Wiggle opened his door. Whoop! They walked in. And they shut the door. Whoop! And then they got the sugar. And they started working a little bit, talking, and then Mr. Waggle said, it's getting really late. I better get home if I'm going to make some cookies. So he opens his door. Whoop! Mr. Waggle walks out. He shuts the door. Whoop! And Mr. Waggle goes back home. He goes up the hill. And up the hill. He opens the door. Whoop! And he walks in. And he shuts the door. Whoop! And then they start mixing up the ingredients to make their cake or their cookies. And they put it in the oven. And they start smelling these wonderful smells. And then They take it out and let it cool. The next day, they each put on a plate a piece of cake and a few cookies, and because they helped each other, they took a piece to each other. So they open their door, whoop, they walk out, and they shut the door, whoop, they go up the hill, whoop, and they start talking and sharing their cake and cookies, and then Mr. Wiggle says, it's about time for the party to start. I better get home. So they go up the hill. Mr. Wiggle opens the door. Whoop. He walks in. And he shuts the door. Whoop. And Mr. Waggle opens the door. Whoop. He walks in. And shuts the door. Whoop. And they have a great time at the party and at Mr. Wiggle's house. And at Mr. Waggle's house, his son enjoys the cookies. The end.
I know you're going to know this next song, so I am pretty sure you can play a steady beat and sing along just fine. I would love it if you would go choose an instrument and play along as we sing this song. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a horse, E-I-E-I-O, with a neigh-neigh here and a neigh-neigh there, here a neigh, there a neigh, everywhere a neigh-neigh. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a dog, E-I-E-I-O, with a woof woof here and a woof woof there, here a woof, there a woof, everywhere a woof woof. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a sheep, E-I-E-I-O, with a ba-ba here and a ba-ba there, here a ba, there a ba, everywhere a ba-ba. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a cow, E-I-E-I-O, with a moo-moo here and a moo-moo there, here a moo, there a moo, everywhere a moo-moo. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a snake, E-I-E-I-O, with a s here and a s there, here a s, there a s, everywhere a s. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a cat, E-I-E-I-O, with a meow meow here and a meow meow there, here a meow, there a meow, everywhere a meow meow. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he had a pig, E-I-E-I-O, with an oink oink here and an oink oink there, here an oink, there an oink, everywhere an oink oink. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. I hope you had fun singing and playing your instrument along with me. Did you know that there are things in our world that help keep a steady beat? And then there are other things that maybe make some noise or a sound, but it doesn't make a steady beat. One of the best examples of a steady beat is your heart. Put your hand on your heart and see if you can feel it beating. You feel a steady, even pulse. It goes pump, 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 pump. Yeah, so our heart's heart's a great example of a steady beat because it always keeps that nice, even pulse. Can you think of some other examples of something that keeps a steady beat? How about a clock? A clock is also a great example because it goes tick, 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 tick. That's probably a watch, actually. So a watch goes tick, 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 but a clock might go tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. And it keeps a steady, even beat because it measures every second evenly, right? Good. What's another example of something that might keep a steady beat? How about a train? When you hear a train going by, you hear that rhythm of chicka 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 chicka, right? It continually has that same rhythm going underneath. So trains can be really good examples of a steady beat. Can you think of anything else? Maybe a marching band. If you like to watch parades, then a marching band always has a steady beat because they have to know exactly how to move just in time. All their feet have to match up and go the same speed, the same tempo the whole time. So there has to be a steady beat. And do you know what instrument is usually responsible for keeping that steady beat in a marching band? The drums. The drums are what are really, really important in a marching band because they're loud. So they loudly keep a steady beat. Very good. What are some things that don't make a steady beat? What can you think of? What about a thunderstorm? You hear a big boom, but it's not like you hear a boom, 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 boom. That would be a really crazy storm to be in, wouldn't it? If you heard a thunder constantly on the beat all the time, that would be crazy. No, it's very sporadic. Sporadic means it happens every now and then. And so there might be a big boom and some lightning. And then there's another boom and some lightning. Boom and some lightning, right? So sometimes you hear it fast, sometimes you hear it slow. That's not a steady beat. What else might not make a steady beat? What about a cow mooing? Cows don't go moo, 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 moo. They would probably get really tired if they were mooing constantly like that, right? They don't. They just moo when they need to, so it's not a steady beat. Same thing with really any animal. They don't make steady beats. They just make their sound when they want to make them. Can you think of some other things that don't make a steady beat? Like a car starting. It doesn't make a steady beat. It might make a couple sounds, and then it's just one steady sound. It doesn't have a rhythm that keeps going. So I want you to look around this week and see what you can come up with. Look in your world. What do you hear making a steady beat? And what do you hear making not a steady beat? I bet you can find lots of things around you. All right, it's time for you to go find your item that you like to use as a scarf. So I call this the scarf cleaning dance. That's not actually what it's called. It's called Monieszka. It's a Polish song, but the reason we call it the scarf cleaning dance is because in the classroom, when the music sounds like this, it doesn't sound very happy, does it? It sounds kind of sad. But when the music sounds like this, it sounds much happier, right? Well, I like to relate this song to the story of Cinderella. The sad part sounds like when Cinderella's evil stepmother has said, "No, you may not go to the ball, you must stay here and clean." And so during that part, that's when you have to really sadly and dramatically clean and dust things with your scarf because you're not allowed to go to the ball. But then when the music changes to that happy sound, it's like your fairy godmother has come along and said, "Yes, you may go to the ball." And then you get to dance very happy with your scarf. Now, We can do lots of things with our scarves, right? We can move it lots of ways. We could go in a zigzag up and down. We could go in a zigzag side to side. We can twirl it. We could make a figure eight and make different shapes. We could even toss it and catch it. So, this is your chance to be creative with your scarf and move how the music tells you to move. But you have to remember, when it's sad sounding, that's not dancing time. That's sad cleaning time. So you have to listen really carefully. Because then when it changes, that's when you get to dance with your scarf and do all kinds of creative things. So enjoy listening. I put the happy and sad faces on to help you this time around, but you still have to listen very carefully so that you can enjoy your scarf cleaning dance. The composer we are going to be studying is George Friedrich Handel. Last lesson, you got to listen to one of his songs. A composer is a person who writes or creates music. They may write it down on paper with a pen or a pencil so that other people can play it, or maybe they're just improvising and making the music up on the spot. Even if you're doing that, you are composing, you are writing music, even if you're not writing it down for other people to play. Now, Handel was born in the late 17th century, which means like the late 1600s. And he was born in a city called Halle, And now that city is in Germany. So if you look at that white arrow, it's pointing to the green country of Germany. And that is near where Handel would have been born. But that city that he was born in, it wasn't a part of Germany when he was born. It was a part of something called the Brandenburg Prussia, which was a part of the Holy Roman Empire. So those are lots of big words, I know. But what's important for us to remember is that he was born in what we would call now Germany. The time period that Handel was a composer is what we would call the Baroque period. And so that covers the years from 1600 to 1750. So we're talking 400 and 300 years ago, right? So that was a long time ago when music was just starting to be written down for everybody to play, where we could still read it today. So if you look at this piece on the left, it is a piece from the Renaissance period. That's the time period that came before Handel was born. You can see the rhythms, everything looks pretty simple, straightforward, it's very even looking. If you look at this other piece though, that's now highlighted in blue, look at how complicated that looks. Look at how many more notes there are on the page. This is a recorder concerto written by Handel. And you can tell that there's a lot more going on in the music, and that's because the music of the Baroque period was much more complicated. Lots of ornamentation and embellishments in the music. You might want to say it was just fancier. It sounds fancier than the Renaissance music. So again, the piece on the left that's not highlighted in blue, that's from the Renaissance period before Handel. The one in blue is highlighted, and that is one of Handel's pieces. Now, the embellishment and ornamentation of the Baroque period wasn't just about music. It was in all of the art of that time period, even in the buildings. So look at the building highlighted in blue. That's from the Renaissance period, before Handel was born. Look at how clean the lines are. There's nothing really overly fancy about it. It's just like really clean lines everywhere. But if you look at this building that's now highlighted in blue, look at all of the statues. If you look at the tops of the columns, there's all these curlicues and all of these different things that you can see that look way fancier. So, even in the architecture of the Baroque era, you can tell that it's much fancier, much more ornamented and embellished. Now, Mr. Weed is going to walk you through a song by George Frederick Handel.
1717, he introduced the world to one of his greatest works. It was called Water Music. It was performed close to the royal barge of King George I by 50 musicians on a barge on the River Thames as part of a concert for the king. So King George enjoyed it so much that he requested it to be played 3 times during the trip. Let's take a listen to some of that music that the king enjoyed so much. Let's see how it goes. You'll notice that we have instruments here. These are our strings. They're the ones that are going to be highlighted or standing out right there. Then we have some trumpets playing and French horns. And then we have a combination of the strings and trumpets. Then we have the French horns again, strings, trumpets, French horns, and then this word tutti at the end means that we're going to play all together. So we have everyone there, the trumpets, the French horns, and our strings. So let's take a listen and hear all those instruments playing together. Here we go. right. Thank you so much. You may play that back as many times as you want.
This week, we would like you to try an assignment in Schoology. So after you finished the video, you go back to our music course, and underneath the video, you're going to look for this assessment right here. It says Steady Beat, and you're going to click on it. Now, I'm not going to click on it because I can't do it for you. So I'll show you what another one looks like, but you click on Steady Beat, and then when you get inside, it's going to look something like this, where you can click Start New Attempt. Click on that, and each question you can push play to hear what the question asks. What color hair does Mrs. Piles have? And then you look at the answers and choose one, black, brown, or red. I hope you can remember that I have brown hair. I know it looks a little blonde right now, but I didn't give you that choice. All right, then we play our next question. Mrs. Piles has been playing this instrument in class lately. Have you seen me playing the piano, or have you seen me play the ukulele? If you said ukulele, you are right. So you click that and push the next button down here. Let's listen to our question. My PE teacher is... Is your PE teacher Mrs. Shorn, Ms. Deb, or Ms. Bretch? Great, Ms. Bretch. We click then review. And this is your chance to go back to any of the questions if you think you need to change an answer. And then when you're all done, you click on finish. And it'll tell you how many you got right out of how many there were, however many questions were asked, okay? And then you just click close or go on, and you go on to your class and do the next thing that it is that you need to do. Go give the assignment a try, and have a great weekend.